Chapter 5, Section 1 is about rate of change and slope. Rate of change and slope. And a rate of change is a ratio that compares the change in your dependent to the independent variable. So a ratio, and it compares the change in the dependent variable to independent variable. Ratio compares the change in the dependent variable to the change in the independent variable. And we're going to write this for how to calculate. Our formula is going to be change in independent variable over the change in the dependent variable. In these first two questions with the rate of change, there's going to be about 4 questions in each problem. We are asked, the table below shows average retail price of peanut butter from 86 to 97. And we are asked to find the rate of change for each variable, or rate of change for each interval, excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract these two, subtract the top two, and divide. So we will have $1.80, subtract $1.60, 87, subtract 86, and that ends up being a change of 20 cents per year. That's our first change. Now our second one is right here from 87 to 89. So we're going to subtract the prices. 181, subtract $1.80. 89, subtract 87. And that is 1 cent over 2 years. And if you divide that, it is a half a cent, which is 0.005, half a cent per 1 year. And that is our second interval. Our third interval, we're going to look right here between 89 and 92. So we will have $1.94, subtract $1.81 over 92, subtract 89. And if you take $1.91 and subtract 18, that is 13 cents. 92 subtract 89 is over 3 years. And if you divide that, it's roughly 4 1/3 cents per year. That's our next interval. And then the last interval is right here. And we will do $1.78, subtract $1.94, and 97, subtract 92. $1.78, subtract $1.94, check my math here, I think that's 16 cents over 5 years. And if you divide that, that is roughly 5 1/3 cents per year, and that is our fourth interval. Like I said, there's going to be about 4 questions in each one of those. And now part B says, during which time interval did the cost increase at the greatest amount? Well, this was 20 cents per year. This was a half a cent per year. This was 4.3 cents per year. and this one is actually negative. It went down. So the time interval when the cost increase was the greatest was between 1986 and 1987, when the cost went up 20 cents per year. The next example says, this table shows the balance of the bank account on each of the different days of the month, finding the rate of change. So we're going to subtract these two, subtract the bottom two, subtract the top two, and divide them. 285, subtract 550 over 6 minus 1. 285, subtract 550. Can somebody do that on your calculator a minute? What'd you get, Brandon? Anybody have it? Negative 260? Negative 265. So negative 265, 6 minus 1 is 5, and that will be $53 per day. So on average in that interval they were spending $53 per day. The next one, we will have 210 subtract 285, which is negative 75. 16 minus 10, 16 minus 6, excuse me, is 10. So here on average they are spending $7.50 per day. From days 16 to 22, 210 minus 210. They didn't spend any money during that interval, so that would be $0 per day. And then the last one, 175 minus 210 over 30 minus 22. I think, check my math here, 35 over 8. What's that? Negative 35 over 8. And when you divide that, you're going to get 40 something per day. 46.6 repeating. 35 divided by 8. Okay, negative 4.375. That sounds about right. So we've just calculated our intervals. Right here is one, right here is another one, right here, and right here. And it says, during which time interval did the balance decrease at the greatest rate? Well, that's right up here when they were spending an average of $53 per day, and that is between day 1 and day 6. So this person spent the majority of their money at the beginning of the month. Slope is the next concept we're going to cover, similar to what we just did with the rate of change. And your slope formula is y minus y1 over x minus x1. And that actually is the same as a rate of change. And there are 4 different concepts within slope. You can have slope that looks like one of these 4 pictures. If your slope goes up as it goes from left to right, it is a positive slope. If it goes down as it goes from left to right, it is a negative slope. If it's horizontal and you're looking for a rate of change and it's flat across, it has a slope of 0. And straight up and down like that, that slope is undefined. So your slope can be positive, Your slope can be negative, your slope can be 0, or your slope can be undefined. Positive, negative, 0, undefined. And with undefined, we also should write down no slope. And I don't care if you want to say it's undefined or if it's no slope. Either one of those is fine.
0 with a line through it.
That's fine also. Empty set is good too. At the top of the next page, we have 4 pictures with slope. And we just need to say whether these are positive, negative, 0, or no slope. This first one, straight up and down, that line has no slope or undefined, whichever one you prefer. Number 5, as you go from left to right, that's going downhill, so this has a negative slope. Number 6, you're going uphill as you go from left to right, so that is positive slope. And number 7, a horizontal line right straight across, that has a slope of 0. So 6 is positive, 7 is 0. The slope formula, again, we're going to write it y minus y1, x minus x1. Means you're subtracting your y's, subtracting your x's, and writing a fraction. And it doesn't matter which order, which y you pick first, but whatever y you pick first, you have to pick that x first. So for number 7, we're going to use this formula. Negative 2, subtract 2. And I did this y, subtract that y. So then I have to do 4 subtract a negative 1. And negative 2, we zip zap that and have plus a negative 2. That will become a negative 4. And if we zip zap this, it will become a 5. And so your answer here is negative 4/5. Number 8, negative 2, subtract a negative 2. This one, subtract that one. Negative 2, subtract 7. If we zip zap this, we end up with 0 over negative 9. And that is the same as 0. So that line has a slope of 0. Number 9, you can pick any point you want to right there. I'm going to pick the zeros because those are generally fairly easy to work with. And I'm going to do 0, subtract a negative 3 over 0, subtract 2. Pen's down in here. And if we do 0, subtract a negative 3,